Folks, let me tell you about a home that is going to be a really difficult sale. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending April 23rd, 2025. In York Region, I'm speaking about a specific neighborhood. It's an established neighborhood. It's not a new neighborhood. Neighborhood's about 25, 30 years old. And in this neighborhood, and it's a popular neighborhood, there's one house specifically that I'm referring to. And when you look at just that house, so if you close your eyes and somehow manage to walk in front of that house and open, you're going to go, wow, it is really a nice house. The previous house that was there was torn down, and the homeowners built this really nice house. It's a 3-story house, about 3,200 or so square feet, and it's really, really nice. They built this new in 2020. That's when it was completed. And they've been trying to sell off and on ever since. And I'm telling you, it's a really, really nice house. But the minute you take a step back and you look at the rest of the street, what on its own, without looking at anything else, is a really nice house, as soon as you look at the neighboring homes, this home kind of stands out like a sore thumb. The neighboring properties are detached homes, just like the home I'm referring to, but they're very small detached homes. Your typical 2-story, lots of them are even less than 2,000 square feet, like 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 square feet, 1-car garage. Many of them are 3-bedroom homes, and they have their prices. But then you got this 3-story, what appears to be a massive home, brand new, to these 25, 30-year-old homes, much, much smaller, right beside it and across the street. They're having a tough time selling. Now, when you see the way this home stands out, and it stands out like a sore thumb, it doesn't stand out, in my opinion, it doesn't stand out in a good way. You're looking at this, and the first thing that comes to my mind is, how did they even get approval to build this? So I don't know if I'm saying this thinking I got an issue with the zoning of the city, but how did they get approval to build this? And what made somebody think that this made sense? Now, if their plan was to live in this home for the next 10, 15, 20 years, knock your socks off. Do whatever you want to do. Enjoy your home. You'll deal with it 20 years later when you go to sell it. That's one thing. But right after this was built, it came onto the market. So you got to wonder, what was the motivation there to build this in that neighborhood? It's already proven to be. So when I say this is going to be a difficult sale, I'm not speculating and taking a guess at this. They've been trying off and on for 4 or 5 years now to sell this home, and is back on the market again. That's why it just kind of popped into my head again, and that's why I'm talking about it with you here today. Sometimes being so different can be a good thing, and sometimes it could really work against you. This home, it's impossible to compare it to anyone else in the neighborhood. Not just that street, that whole subdivision. There is nothing like it. But you are being compared to prices in that area. And for sure, some compensation and some you got to look at the difference between this new build and the other one. But there's no other new build. There's some homes that have been renovated nicely, but this home was tore down and built to stand. It's like the CN Tower compared to all the little puny buildings beside it. Like, yeah, the CN Tower is beautiful, but you can't compare to the next building. Well, that's what this home is. And it's going to be a challenge. And I'm not speculating because they've had a hard time selling it. Being different is not always a good thing. So just be careful on your plans and spending money and rentals you want to do. If you enjoy it, good for you. Awesome. Enjoy it. But if the plan is to sell it and it's because of those changes you're making, it may not work out for you. Don't be so different sometimes. You really got to know what you're doing there. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that or go directly to tsre.ca. That'll take you to my calendar. Book a date and time that suits you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Go Leafs, go! We're talking about York Region detached properties. We're going to be focused on Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham. Here's a summary of average sold prices for detached properties only. We're going to start off with Vaughan for week ending April 23rd. 20 detached properties were sold. Those are fewer sales than the previous week. It was Easter long weekend during this week ending period of April 23rd. I'm saying that because we typically see a drop in sales from one week to the next anytime there's a long weekend or a holiday weekend. So I'm going to say this once here now. If you see a dip in sales, there's a good chance it's because of the Easter long weekend. We need to see the other few weeks to really see which way sales are actually going. Week ending April 23rd. 20 detached properties were sold in Vaughan. 5 of those were at $2 million or more. Excuse me. Average sold price kind of looks like overall average prices are climbing. For this week, we're at $1,776,000, 1,776. It's a tiny bit higher than what it was this time a year ago, but overall it rounds off to a 0% change versus this time last year. The median price of 1,695 is 2% lower year over year. And if we look at basically since the middle of March to where we are now, the dotted line, the 4-week moving average, shows that prices, average and median, are trending upwards. 20 were sold, 20% sold at list price or more. So that's 4 sold at list price or more. But comparing this year, January 1st to April 23rd, comparing that to a year ago, we have 29% fewer sales. So sales are way down. And the other side of the spectrum, listings are way up. Active listings are trending up. We have 555 available detached properties for sale in Vaughan. Just Vaughan, 555. In months of inventory, it's climbing. We're now at 6.4 months of inventory. Here's Richmond Hill. Sales are so low, it's really tough to get an accurate overall reading when it comes to Richmond Hill. I mean, 13 detached properties sold. 4 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,769,000. 1,769 is 12% lower year over year. The median price of 1,668 is 11% lower. 13 were sold. No properties sold at list price or more. This year versus last year, year to date, for sales, we are 31%, or we have 31% fewer sales this year versus a year ago. Active listings climbing. Months of inventory way up there at 9.3 months of inventory. It seems high, but we've had higher, 12.8, 18.1, just because of the volume of sales that we're seeing and the volume of listings we're seeing in Richmond Hill. Here's Markham. Markham is our steady Freddy, a little bit more consistent. 19 detached properties were sold. It's not a lot, but 19 were sold. 4 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,666,000. 1,666 is 8% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 7% lower. Overall, the average price, the 4-week moving average is kind of flat over the previous few weeks. Sales, we have 24% fewer sales this year versus a year ago for the same period. And listings, well, listings are up, although 1 week to the next, listings came down a little bit. Overall, active listings have been trending upwards, and months of inventory climbed up to 5.4 months of inventory. Here's the summary. It's pretty much a balanced market, and you're going to experience, although there's going to be a buyer's market in many of the different neighborhoods when it comes to detached properties. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. Go Leafs go.